All right, welcome in another episode of the Goodman, Hummel, and McCall podcast. I'm Jeff Goodman. We've got Rob Hummel, we've got Matt McCall, and how you guys doing? How you doing? Everything good?
No, I'm done with JetBlue. I'm done.
Wow.
I'm boycotting JetBlue.
Hey, Rob, tell
Boycott it.
McCall that it doesn't matter. The airline doesn't matter
Yes, it
anymore.
does.
No, it
I
doesn't.
don't want to hear this from Jeff because I saw your sissy little tweets over Thanksgiving about, oh, my flight was canceled and I can't get home. Yeah. So you're the same way. You're
They
just
all
complaining to
suck.
American.
No, all
Dude,
I'm saying is
they can't control the weather, for one. And two, would you prefer your plane to fall out of the sky? Is that what you'd prefer?
I would prefer, though,
you could have that happen
to
too.
not have my flight delayed till 1 a.m. when it's supposed to be at 7:45, and then wake up today and say, sorry for your trouble. Here's a $12 meal voucher.
it's better
What
than
am I
nothing.
going to buy?
Better than nothing.
Can I get the cheese
Tough
plate
pill.
for $12?
Well, that's your only option, probably.
You could do what Hummel does and just start downing shots on flights for $12.
Only when I was playing overseas, when I was numbing myself to go over there, would I drink on the plane.
You needed to drink then.
I would literally get on that plane and be so sad and then just be like, you know what? If you were in business class, the drinks are free. So
you became an alcoholic. That's
Leonardo
when you became an
DiCaprio.
alcoholic.
No, I'm just saying a one time. Like that was to go to Moscow and Milan. I was a coach going to Spain. That was a really tough pill.
That was rough.
Yeah.
What Rob, you got an easy week this week. You look refreshed after the Celtics Pistons game last night in my former home.
I am refreshed. I don't have a game until doubleheader Saturday.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Which I'm surprised you're going.
You again. I might food poison you again.
You got me with the dirty handshake of some agent, I think, last time. I was wondering, you're going to go to both games?
Of course.
There were some tweets last night that I saw as I was riding home from the game.
Yeah.
Do you like college basketball?
What kind of question is that? What do you mean?
I think there were some really good points brought up about whether you care about people outside of the top 25. And I really appreciated the fans of probably Divine Providence they are, but they were tremendous in bringing up points about, how other insiders really care about this sport. And I thought it was good.
So
good dialogue to have.
For those that want to take shots at me, for not caring about other games other than the top 25 games, ask them how many mid-major games they've gone to in person. Because I've gone to at least
because you live in a warm city and your friend is the coach and you go support him.
That's not the case.
Charleston? Okay, and you did your thing and on the first day of the season.
3 games there. Then we did Liberty, FAU, Charleston.
Did you make a profit on that?
No, it was a loss, Rob. That's why we can't pay you. That's why we can't pay you. That's why you haven't gotten checks lately.
Matt, can we quit?
We took a bow.
Let's just quit.
You didn't like VCU Niagara last night? Siegel Center?
I did not. Listen, when there's
a Matt likes college basketball, so he knows that was going on.
When there's a night like that going on, I'm going to hang with my wife. I've traveled for 2.5 months like crazy. I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to ask her what she wants to watch. And I'm going to hang with my wife, have dinner with my wife. And then I did flip on the last 3 minutes of the Pistons Celtics game. And it was entertaining other than Jaylen Brown not being able to make free throws. That wasn't great, but Cade Cunningham, man. I looked down that roster, and we'll get to our topics today. Will be Darryn Peterson, Arizona, Arkansas, and what's the fourth? And what did we say the fourth was?
Way to be prepared.
Arizona, Arkansas.
Your preparation is just absolutely.
What was the fourth?
Arkansas, Nebraska.
Thank you. Nebraska. So those are our topics today. But before we get to that, I actually do want to get your thoughts on this, Rob, because I'm watching this Pistons team last night, and I'm saying to myself, like, they got Cade. And then, like, other than Cade, like, it's a good team, but like the roster is kind of underwhelming for a team that's like 22-5 right now. You look at it and you're like, the East must really suck for that team to be that dominant with one star, one star.
Yeah, I mean, the East is definitely weaker than the West. There's no doubt. But I do think that Detroit team has fully bought into being tough as hell.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of teams, and that's kind of how they do it. And they've found ways, even though maybe they're not the perfect fit around Cade. I would think if you want to really build around Cade and you could just like build a fantasy team, you'd be like, we need shooting at every spot because he will average 20 assists a game if we do that.
Yeah.
But Duncan Robinson has shot the ball really, no surprise, right? He's an elite shooter. That has worked out well for them. But like Asar Thompson is a non-shooter, but
Jalen Duren isn't.
But Jalen Duren's an all-star now. Jalen Duren is playing like an all-star.
Really?
Oh yeah, he wasn't last night, but he has balled. He'll probably make the all-star game.
That's crazy to me.
He's been their second star. But they also have some real depth. Like they go 11 deep. They kill you in the paint. They kill you on the glass, and they kill you on points off turnovers and in transition. And if they shoot the ball even decent, which they have, they're going to have a chance. And Cade is a legitimate superstar.
So you know who my comp is with Cade in college? It's Darryn Peterson. Because I think, well, they're built differently.
But he doesn't. How? Isn't Darren Peterson like a phenomenal shooter?
No, he's not a phenomenal shooter. No,
really?
He's streaky.
See, I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
as much,
he's streaky. So. He can get going and be a really good shooter. But I'm talking more in the competitiveness and the intangibles and the toughness and the a big point guard. Obviously Cade's built, right? Darryn Peterson is not built like that, but big in terms of 6'5", 6'6", who can do everything. I think both of them can do everything.
How do you say Peterson's not a phenomenal shooter, though? He's shooting 42% from three.
I was going to say,
I'm just telling you, he's streaky. I'm telling
42% is a pretty high percentage. He's only played in 4 games, and he's taken 26.
Yeah.
So,
again,
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be a 40% three-point shooter. Maybe.
Jeff, do you like high major college basketball?
No, I only watch mid-major games.
You only watch none of the games. That's what you do, apparently.
None of them.
What's your definition of a good shooter?
I'm just saying, you're basing it on 4 games.
Okay, 4 games, he's shooting over 40%.
I need a bigger sample size than this. I have seen him play many a time in AU.
Some of the shot making, he wasn't playing at the Players era, but just in watching the clips of him playing, he's been on fire, I feel like. In the games he's played.
He's been great. Yeah. But okay, so he came out of the last game with a couple minutes left. Melvin Council was the star of that game, had a out-of-body experience where he hit 10 threes from a guy that...
Yeah, he is not a good shooter.
Told me he's never made more than 4 threes in a game. High school, middle school, anywhere. And made 10 to set the Kansas record. But the bigger story, I thought, was Darryn Peterson checking himself out of the game with a couple minutes left, not returning. Bill Self said, now they play tonight. They play tonight against Towson, so we'll see what happens here. But I want to discuss this overall because Self said that he's had some hamstring issues. We know that all year. He said he cramped up. He thought it was with his quad, and that's why he came out of the game. Self said this on Monday. So I don't know if he practiced Monday afternoon after Self said this. But I think it's a bigger discussion topic right now of what you do with this kid right now. If he's going to be the number 1 or 2 overall pick, whether he plays another game or not. But these are lingering issues. Is there concern on your end, McCall, if you're a coach right now and you've dealt with this over and over and over, his hammy injuries, now it might be a quad. Like, how do you handle this situation? What do you do if you're Bill Self?
You sit him until Big 12 play. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, you got Townsend and then you have Davidson coming up, and then you don't play again until January 3rd. So he has over 2.5 weeks before they open up with UCF. So it's like, what's the need to get him out there right now? Like what's the rush to get him out there? There isn't one. They'll win both these games, and I think obviously you know how I feel about Pat Scarry. I think he's terrific. I've said time and time again he should have hired him. Nothing against Frank Martin or nothing against myself. The two times that UMass has been open, that guy, in my opinion, would be a terrific fit there. And nothing against Davidson. I think Matt McKillop's doing a great job and finally getting that program going in the right direction after taking over for his dad. But Kansas is winning those two games without Peterson.
Yeah.
Bottom line, they're winning those two games without him, barring something crazy happening. So then he won't play until January 3rd. Like, you just got to get him right. Yeah, I think there's some concern for a player this young to have this lingering injury early in his career. It's like, okay, shut him down. Like shut him down. They could probably beat UCF without him. TCU, I don't know.
But none of that matters.
Shut him down until he's 100% healthy. What is the risk of putting him back out there right now?
Yeah, Rob, as a former player who's battled injuries, how do you look at this situation? Like, seriously, what do you do if you're Darren Peterson?
I hate that I'm going to say this, but you definitely consider not playing because he is a Ferrari. Like, if you're going to be the 1 or 2 pick in the draft, and you've honestly come out here and not that I don't even know if he had to prove anything in college, like just because of the hype, the reputation, what he's already done. When I was hurt, it was like, all right, I have to get back to prove that I can be healthy for a season. That's not what this is. And I also was like going to be at best a 2nd-round pick at that point in time. So, you're fighting for everything to just get drafted. That's not even close to what Darren Peterson's going through. I want to watch him play. I want to see him play at Kansas. I think that for most of these guys that are one and dones, their year in college is pretty special because once you get to the pros, it's a very different experience. All right. You're making a lot of money, but even though these college guys are too, there's just like you're hanging out in the dorms, you hang out with your teammates. It's a very fun time, I think, in your life. So I hate that this is maybe not going to be that for him, but because of how much money you make now as the first pick or the second pick, it locks you in at like what, 45 or $50 million. That is. Ooh. So if I was advising him, I think I would be like, man, if you don't feel right, do not play. And that sucks for college basketball. Now, if you do feel right, that's a different story. But if he really does not feel right, then you have to listen to that and understand that. And I'm sure Kansas fans will hate to hear that, and it sucks. But I do think that when you have an asset of your body that is worth that much money, it's too big of a risk to take. If he was to go out there and blow his Achilles or blow his knee out, now you are putting that in jeopardy. He still would be picked high because of his talent. But if you're advising this kid, man, it's a really hard situation. So hopefully he just starts feeling better. Like, hopefully if you do sit him until New Year's, then he's better. But I don't know.
I mean, think of it too, guys.
To your point, let's say if he goes back out there.
Yeah.
Let's say he goes back out there. And then he shuts it down again. Now, if you're one of these NBA franchises, are you concerned? Is this guy injury prone? Like the fact that he's a freshman in college and he's had to pull himself out of the lineup 3 or 4 different times for an injury. Like they're investing $50 million in a rookie right now. Like you could have legit concern.
Yeah, I mean, remember too, he didn't play for a month. He took off literally exactly 1 month to rest the hamstring. So, I'm sure he wants to get out there, even
he does.
Even if the quad isn't related to the hammy, right? Even if this was something completely unrelated.
Well, you also, Jeff, you worry about like kinetic chain wise, right? Like if there can just be things where if you're not balanced or you're not right, you have an injury and you overcompensate, like things can start to happen.
Yeah.
But Kansas's training staff has a feel for, we don't really know what the details of the injury are. So they definitely know, like, look, you're putting yourself at more risk. There is no more risk or there's equal risk as if you were playing healthy. All that needs to be taken into account. But the fact of the matter is that he is going to make so much money that you cannot take unnecessary risks for his career. And that is unfortunate for all of us that like college basketball.
It just sucks. Yeah, it sucks because, I mean, again, he's special. And I think so many people, yeah, I caught that. Okay. Anyway, I think people have elevated like AJ DeMonza to the #1 pick already. But part of it is just like out of sight, out of mind with Darryn Peterson, right? I mean, look at a couple of the games he's played. He played, Green Bay, NC Central, Missouri. I mean, 2 of them nobody was watching. Then the Carolina game was the one game that everybody watched. But that was
people watch these games that aren't as high profile, dude.
They're not
like Kansas fans probably watch those games. I bet Missouri fans watch Kansas, Missouri.
Did you watch Kansas Green Bay? Did you watch Gottlieb?
If I had free time to do it, yeah, I would have.
Gottlieb was very, very tired on the field of 68, by the way.
Did you watch the NC?
Very, very, very tired. Can you get him a nap, please?
I was working.
I'm saying that, like, he hasn't played a lot of he's played 4 games total, and the general college basketball fan has probably maybe watched 2 of them against Carolina and Missouri. So it does suck that people aren't seeing them. I think you got to be extra cautious. And I think Bill Self has been extra cautious.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, giving him that month, he might have been able to bring him back a little bit quicker or push, and he didn't. I think he understands the end game here too, that if they just want Darren Peterson healthy in February. Really?
Yeah, and it, Coach Self has to do what's right by the kid too, and he understands that because he's coached numerous high-end players, right? Like that's all
right.
No surprise.
So next up, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska ball has been unbelievable this year. I mean, absolutely shocking. They go into Champaign and they beat an Illinois team in which Hummel still doesn't have all the names squared away yet for this Illini team. He's got to work on this. But Nebraska has done, I mean, what Fred Hoiberg has done, because a few years ago, the hot seat consisted of not just Matt McCall, but also Fred Hoiberg. They were on the same hot seat a few years back. Did you know that, McCall?
God.
How are we on the same hot seat? Like, how is it even possible? It was like in year 1. My last year. Okay? Like, knock it off.
Because we have JV writers. That's why.
No. Seriously, though. You guys forget. Hoiberg, they had to renegotiate
it wasn't going
his contract.
Well. It wasn't going well.
They had to renegotiate his deal. He had to take less money during.
Well, and Jeff, then they got hot in February and carried that wave into the next year and had a good team that made the tournament, right? Yeah. Like they started playing they did finish strong. And honestly, Fred is he's a great coach in the sense that, like, they run great stuff on offense and defensively they have an identity, right? Like they play to a certain way on defense. And last year, the rink mast injury was very, very overlooked in terms of how much that hurt them. Like they went, but they still have a season and make fun of the Crown or say what you want about the Crown. But you do, again, find success coming into this year. They win the Crown, momentum. They win this money.
Yeah.
You get momentum. And if you have rink mast with Bryce Williams last year, I think they make the tournament because rink mast is a problem to guard. His skill, his passing, his shooting. And, you bring over Price Sanford, who actually, I remember having a conversation with Fred a couple years ago before Price got to Iowa. And he was like, man, I really wanted Price Sanford. I think he can be a pro. Like he really believed in him. And I don't know if he'll end up playing in the NBA, but like, all right, now you've got him on the roster. Yeah. And I will say this. I think Sam Hoiberg from the time he's really started to get to play. And the funny story about it is that Fred has talked about how his wife was like, Sam needs to play. And he was like, okay. But she was right. Like he's come in and he sets the tone, he guards, he can make an open shot, and he makes the right play. And he just competes, and he's been a winning player for them. So they've got a lot of pieces that I really like. And even with the season injury, they shoot the ball well, they've got skill, they take care of the basketball, and they're a good offensive team.
Can they sustain this, Matt? Can they sustain this, or is this a cute little, non-conference story that at the end of the day they kind of fall back and are a tournament team, but nothing more than that?
Listen, they're going to be 13-0 when they play Michigan State on Friday, January 2nd. Like, they're going to be undefeated, and they get that
who
game.
Do they have? Who do they have before that?
North Dakota, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So they're going to be 13-0, and they get Sparty coming into their building. How about that?
That place will be on fire.
That place will be
it's an awesome crowd.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: when you have a really good team, like look at the numbers, and a lot of coaches use offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. It always felt like if you could be in the top 50 in both categories, you have a chance to be special. Okay, I don't know where they stand right now in efficiency ratings. But
they're top 25 in offense and top 30 in defense.
There you go. That's a recipe to win a lot of games. And Jeff, like, we're not saying that they've played nobody. They put up 105 against Oklahoma. Kansas State, is a one-possession game. But they blow through Creighton, blew through them, blew the doors off them. 21-point game. Followed up by blowing through Wisconsin. 30-pieced them. Yeah. And then go on the road and beat Illinois, who a lot of teams have in that same tier of Purdue, Michigan State in the Big Ten. I think they're that next tier. Yeah. But, yes, this is sustainable because they guard and they can score. I mean, it's the name of the game. Their offensive efficiency, and if you look at their total offense and total defense, they're in the top 60 in both those categories. It's a recipe for it. And their schedule. So, that game Friday, January 2nd, I'll be in studio for that one. I don't know if, Robbie, you're calling out. That place is going to be electric.
Yeah.
Electric.
Well, and in taking into account the home court advantage there, they also get Purdue there. So you're going to get a couple cracks at some, top 10, 15 teams. And you have they already have their signature win and on the road at Illinois, and they haven't slipped up yet. So they're a great story. And Fred Hoiberg does a really good job. He's a really good coach.
I think the biggest thing to me is they're old as shit, too. They're so old. I think they might be the oldest team in the country or one of them. So I think that helps them as well, right?
And to Robbie's point, they don't have to go to Michigan State. They don't have to go to Purdue.
Yeah. They've
already beaten Illinois on the road. The only team they have to go to is Michigan. That'll be a tough game. Yeah. In terms of the top tier, it's a favorable Big Ten schedule for them. Favorable.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad for Hoiberg because you're not going to find a better guy than Fred Hoiberg out there. You're really not. He's about as low key as it gets. Almost doesn't self-promote to a fault. Just coaches his team. And again, that was a statement win though for them. I just didn't know what was going to happen going into Champaign, right? We all didn't because they hadn't played. They played a good schedule, but they hadn't played anybody at that level. And to go in there and come out with a win, I think that was a huge statement game for them.
Do you think people that watch college basketball maybe had an inkling that they could win that game?
No, I really don't.
Coming out of the Creighton and Wisconsin games?
They were rolling. They were
rolling. But Creighton isn't very good.
Okay.
No, agreed.
Creighton isn't very good this year.
Okay.
Beating Wisconsin by 30, that was a good. That got my attention. That one got my attention, but I did not think they would go into Champaign. And I was like, hey, if you could just fight them and be in a game at the under 4, that's a great thing for Nebraska. But to win the game, that's one that will be huge on the seed line. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
speaking of Creighton, is Owen Freeman injured?
I think he's been injured. Yeah, I think
I
he's
mean,
fighting through.
he doesn't look healthy at all in the games that I have seen him there.
Yeah, I
So.
think he's been injured. He's fighting something. All
Are
right,
we at all concerned about Illinois?
little
Do
bit.
we have some concern?
Didn't they just bring in another international reinforcement yesterday?
Okay, I don't
No.
understand the NCAA and how that is legal.
Welcome to the party.
There's no
You can
rules
add a guy
anymore.
to your
Welcome to
team,
the
but
party.
why would he be? And I don't even know if he's good.
Yeah.
But why would he be eligible to play immediately? Why isn't it okay? You redshirt and then
I
again he
assume
might
they've been
be.
going through the process and they started it late enough in like right before the season started that they couldn't get it done for the beginning of the year. And maybe it's now, okay, we'll get it done and we'll I think he's still did they say he's 100% cleared or he's still got to get cleared? I don't know.
I don't know. But they are on the Mishko pipeline,
Yeah.
which if you played overseas, Mishko gets stuff done. I will say that. That dude has players and
Got
power.
everybody, right?
Well, yeah. When I was in Milan playing for Armani's team, my first year of the NBA, I was the only non-Mishko player on the team. I was the only guy that was not rep by Mishko. And it's probably a miracle that I was there. Because then when I was in Russia, everybody on our team was rep by the Priority Sports Russian agent, Obrad, who is a questionable character, I would say.
Wow. Calling out Obrad on the pod.
I mean, this guy would be in the locker room congratulating the coaching staff after wins. I mean, this guy had the ultimate power.
Okay. What's wrong with access?
Smoking cigarettes.
Okay, go to any pro basketball organization. The agent should not be in the locker room post wins. Obrad also was doing some other stuff that was very wild, but he got stuff.
Maybe we should get Obrad on here to fight back at some of these allegations.
I want to ask Obrad about the club he told me about that he was at the first night I had dinner with him. That's what I want. I want to break that down in this podcast.
Still can't believe these allegations, McCall. This is unbelievable.
You smoking cigarettes outside the locker room? Just
smoking heaters and just loving Eastern Europe. That's what he was doing.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
Are you trying to follow everything happening in college basketball? It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for recruiting news, game analysis, portal updates, and much, much more. For just $50 a year, you get access to the same information that your favorite coaching staff is subscribed to. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help. Make sure you subscribe today. All right, let's get on to the number one team in the country. That is my Arizona Wildcats.
What's so disappointing is your whole Twitter on I don't care that you're paying tuition at Indiana. You did not go to school there. You
True.
did not.
Wait till your kids go. Wait till your kids are old enough.
It doesn't matter. I'm a Florida Gator alum. I root for the Gators in football.
Amen to this.
Okay, hopefully our coach can actually come to work and stop coaching his previous team. Okay, hopefully that happens at some point here. We just lost last week. But you tweet you're an alum.
Only of Indiana football.
And now we're going back to
sports.
my Arizona. My Arizona. Okay.
You know what? If Jeff is going to claim the way he wants to be introed, I want to put in a request for me. I want to be, whenever we start the pod, Purdue alum and Emmy Award winner, Rob Hummel. That's what I want from now
You
on.
were the last name on that Emmy. You probably didn't even get on that Emmy.
A group project is a group project. And they also sent me an email saying I could buy the Emmy, which I might. I might buy it so I could put it right here.
Like I
want you to see it every
stupid
day.
If you don't, you're dumb if you don't buy the Emmy first.
I can buy it. I can buy it in perpetuity. It said, so I can make up my mind.
I mean,
will you donate? Will you donate to the cause?
You're a moron if you don't do that.
Will you donate to this?
No, I will not. No, absolutely not. I will donate to Mike Tirico.
It's a little pricey because I think they dip it in gold. So I want it to be right here.
Just give me the silver one.
Donate.
Just give me the silver one for the discount.
I have not donated to my alma mater, actually, Arizona. Of course, yeah. Even though a former coach, a former UMass coach not named Matt McCall, and a former Memphis coach did accuse me once of donating to my alma mater years and years ago, 20 years ago when I had no money. Anyway, this Arizona team is number one. And I think before, like I saw them at UConn, and I was super impressed, don't get me wrong, but UConn was without Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins. So I still kind of was like, are they better than Michigan? I don't know. And I still don't know. Like, I think it's 1A, 1B, but Arizona completely deserves based on what they've done. They've beaten 5 ranked teams in the first 9 games of the season. That's never been done before. The latest one in Birmingham, pulling away from an Alabama team that top 10-ish. And they've done it with, to me, balance, a lot of different dudes. I just didn't know if, in the offseason, I was like, I don't know, how good are they? They're bringing in these freshmen that aren't A.J. Devonta, Darryn Peterson, or Cam Boozer. They're good freshmen, Koa Pete and Braden Burries. And then some of their other guys, I just wasn't sold they were going to be this good. Rob, you saw him earlier this year against UCLA. Like, were you surprised a little bit?
I was just impressed with their level of, I don't even know if talent's the right word, but just the ability to go to a different guy on any given night. Like Jaden Bradley playing with such a chip on his shoulder. They left him off the Cousy list. He's played like a Cousy Award type point guard. Braden Burries didn't play well in the game in LA, but then you watch the game against Bama and this dude's got 28 points. So we knew how talented he was. That's starting to come together. Koa Pete, the ability for a freshman to have an off night. We've seen him be at his best against Florida, and we've obviously seen him the UCLA game. He was quiet against Bama. It didn't matter. They're older players. Like Anthony Del Orso was terrific in the UCLA game. And for him to come off the bench, he's worked on his body, right? Like he needed to get stronger, and clearly he did that. He hung around, he got in the weight room, did what he needed to do. But Arizona, I think they shoot the three at a high clip, but they don't depend on it, right? Like they get you on the offensive glass, they get second chance opportunities, they play with tempo. I just think they can beat you in a number of ways, and their talent is really pretty good. And they're old. They have older players mixed with really, really high level young guys. I think Tommy Lloyd's got a team that they can get there. They can be a Final Four team. They can win the whole thing.
It's a great point. Just being able to win in different ways. If they're shooting it well from behind the 3-point line, they can blow through you. But they're the 6th ranked rebounding team in the country. So to be able to have the luxury of having an off shooting night, right? Like it's probably Alabama's biggest, Achilles heel is can they find ways to win games when they're not shooting it well from behind the 3-point line? And this Arizona team can. I mean, Awaka's been an animal on the back.
And he comes off the bench.
Yeah,
like the selflessness of some of those old guys.
Yeah. So super impressive. Super impressive. And like you said, they're doing it against ranked teams. Now, Florida's not the 3rd ranked team in the country. Like we all know that. They were probably ranked way too high considering everything that they lost. Auburn's not Auburn. Stephen Pearl's figuring it out. He's still not his dad. And there's a fear factor when his dad was standing over there on the sidelines. But to beat Alabama the way that they did, and I don't care if Reed's playing or not, going in to Gamble and winning that basketball game on the road was so impressive. So I don't think we talk about him enough. I mean, is that crazy to say? Like, is that nuts to say
Well,
we don't talk about the number
it's
one
the
team in the country enough? Is that
but it is
crazy?
kind of the East Coast bias, right? A lot of the games when they're on the West Coast, a lot of people, I mean, Hummel might be sleeping. Who
You
knows?
know who could help this? An alum that might stay up late to watch his team play, but he's too busy watching Indiana football, so he
Yes.
doesn't know.
Yes.
Should I go to the Rose Bowl, by the way? I'm not going to the Rose Bowl. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm going to wait till the national title
I
game.
can't wait till they lose,
I'm
but
gonna
I'm
wait.
just gonna.
I think everybody's just.
We're doing a pod just to bash you on Indiana football.
I actually think we should get Heisman Mendoza on the pod. Maybe after the
Heisman
year.
I think he's a little busy right now. I think he's got,
He's got some time off.
He does not carry himself with the normal swagger
It's
of a
crazy.
Big Ten quarterback, I would say, or
He's
high major quarterback.
so dorky.
But he is good. He's really good. But that interview after the Ohio State game, since I haven't watched much Indiana football, was pretty shocking.
And
my guy
he's
lost
every
his mind too. My
Yeah.
guy from Vanderbilt lost his mind. What is he doing?
Oh God, yeah, he did.
What is
He's out
he
of his
doing?
mind. I know. It just
You just hurt your draft status.
and
Yeah, it does hurt him.
And he's only
Hurts
like
yourself.
5'10" to begin with. And how many 5'10" quarterbacks are there out there? There aren't many Doug Flutys that made the NFL at that height. So I really like this Arizona team because I think their freshmen don't play like freshmen. You know, Koa Pete is mature. I mean, Jaden Bradley obviously has gotten a lot better. The key to me is Burries. Like they need another consistent shooter that if Del Orso is not making them, they need another guy because when you play with Krivas and Koa Pete out there or Owaka, the spacing is the one thing you worry about a little bit. So they need one more guy. And I think Burries, that was the biggest thing of that Alabama win was Burries took over in the second half. And not only did he's a scorer that's not, I don't think was ever considered like this elite shooter. But if he can make shots like that, because Del Orso can. I love the kid Karchenkov. He's awesome. He's just a good.
Is he shooting anybody? He started off the year brutally shooting the basketball.
No, he can't shoot. He can't shoot. Again, Pete's not a shooter. They're three.
Artizode can shoot, but he doesn't get that much.
Yeah,
time.
He's not known as a shooter either. I know he's shooting a good percentage.
He had that one game though where he made a bunch. It was early in the year.
That's not what he's known for, though. He's
like a wing defender. Yeah,
yeah. Their pieces fit as long as somebody's making shots. But again, like you guys said, even if they're not, they can punish you. Where they can win a game probably in the 60s.
It's amazing Koa Pete hasn't made one either. He hasn't made a three. I know he doesn't shoot a ton, but
he doesn't shoot them. Yeah, he's not going to make any. He might not make one all year. All right, so Arizona surprised me. Nebraska surprised everybody. And then you got Arkansas that has really, to me, surprised some people because we didn't have them in that upper tier, and I think they belong in that upper tier because of their freshmen. And again, with Cal, obviously we know he needs a certain type of group. I think that fits the way he plays. He has it, McCall. Yeah. With this group, Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, those two freshmen, and what he retained, which was obviously some of those, Brazil's been good, Carter Knox. But this team fits him, don't they?
100%. Like younger guys that he knows he can scream, he can yell, he can, jump them, get on them, and they respond. Like he's got the right. This feels like I go back to Robbie's point too, about the crown and Nebraska getting some momentum because last year, what was it, 0-5 to start SEC play, and they beat Georgia by one possession, or they would have been 0-6. Like it was not going well. Had they lost to St. John's in the NCAA tournament, we would have had a totally different conversation going into this season about John Calipari. Like, does he still love it? Can he still do it at a high level? Is he still the same guy that people feared when they'd see him on the road recruiting? People feared because his talent level, you had to outcoach him because you weren't going to have more talent than him. I mean, that's the bottom line. When he was at Kentucky, you had to out-scheme him, you had to out-coach him, you had to out-scout him to give yourself a chance. Because when you looked at their talent compared to our talent or whoever's talent, it wasn't even close. But now he's got some retention. So that, getting guys like Wagner back who know how he is, know how he operates, when he's on the sidelines, you almost got to kind of block him out at times because he's just going to scream and yell at you. And then the young guys like Acuff is top 10 pick, top 8 pick, the way he's playing right now. Those are John Calipari teams. He's gotten back to what made him so good at Kentucky. Got away from it a little bit, but the momentum coming out of last year, it's carrying over for this group onto this season with the returnees and the guys that they brought in.
Hey, Rob.
Jeff, you mentioned the Celtics game last night. It was funny in talking to Joe Mazzulla before the game. I asked him if he watches much college anymore, just because we were kind of shooting the shit about basketball. And he said, yeah, I watched a couple of teams. And actually one of them that he mentioned was Arkansas. And he was able to rattle off a couple of their players' names, which I was like, wow. And I think this is totally random. I think maybe he sees some similarities between kind of the way that the rosters are constructed, like just kind of in terms of, I don't know if he felt like it's hodgepodge, not a right word, but just kind of the talent, the way it fits together. I think he maybe sees something there. And like to hear him say, I watch UConn and Danny Hurley, that's not surprising, like, because Danny's considered this offensive genius, or to say he watches Nate Oates for the analytics side of things. Yeah, like I see that, but I was a little surprised to hear him say that. Which win to you guys is more impressive? Is it the Louisville win at home, or is it Texas Tech on a neutral?
Probably neutral. I mean, in Dallas, it's a neutral. I want to see what they do this weekend against Houston in the Prudential Center in New Jersey. I want to see that one. I want to see when these guys start playing true road games. But I will say this.
They played one.
Acuff seems unflappable. Like, Acuff seems like a much more – I did not see this coming out of him. I hadn't seen a lot of them, but – well, I hadn't seen a lot of them in AU. That's all I'm saying.
That was fun. Well, you don't watch, so I'm not surprised.
What I had seen was, again, an electric scorer and a guy who get to the paint whenever he wanted, get to the basket. But I didn't know he could pass it like this. And to me, I didn't know he could shoot it like this either. Like, he's shooting the hell out of it. The difference to me for Calipari with this team and most of his previous teams are what? They can shoot it. They can shoot it. They shoot like 37 from 3. And the other part, his other teams, a lot of them in Memphis and even at Kentucky, couldn't make free throws. They're shooting like 70-something, 78%, 77% from the line. That to me is the biggest difference for this team. They got a lot of dudes, and Brazil's the X factor. Brazil's got to come to play every game. If he does, man, is he a difference maker.
He killed Louisville.
The other thing is they got guys that are bought into the roles.
Yeah.
Like, they know Acuff's the dude.
Yep.
Okay, so he's going out and getting almost 18 points per game. They know he's the dude. Yep. But they have 7 guys averaging between 8 and 17. So that just shows to me, when you look at their stat sheet, guys are buying into their roles. Like, DJ Wagner is bought into his role. He doesn't have to go out and get 15. Doesn't have to. He's got to guard. He's got to defend. He's got to initiate offense and get them into their stuff. That's what he's got to do, and he's doing it. So the buy-in, which last couple years at Kentucky, there was very, very little buy-in by those guys in terms of their roles. Like, there just wasn't, and that's why they weren't as good. Like, that's why he's got these guys bought in. And it's really impressive because, you're sitting here saying, everybody, he wore out his welcome at Kentucky, BBN, let's try something new. Let's get him on his way. And then he takes the Arkansas job, and you're like, man, Cal, like, you had such a good run. Should you go just do TV? Because you'd be great at that too. Don't tarnish your legacy by taking this. And then he's struggling.
While Pope is thriving last year.
Was struggling.
Right.
And now it's flipped.
Yep.
Now it's flipped.
Yep.
Good for him. Cal was great to me while I was at UMass, and I was so nervous going through the door because I was taking over for one of his guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how's this guy going to treat me? I'm a Billy Donovan disciple. We were clashing when we were in the league, together, and guy couldn't have been nicer to me. Like, one of the first people to text me when I got fired. Like, couldn't be. Like, I'm a Cal fan. I root for him.
It's good. He texted you when you got fired. He tried to get me fired. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Good. As he should.
It's good.
That's good.
You didn't text me when I got fired.
Yeah.
You tweeted it, though. You tweeted it.
Yeah.
UMass will part ways with Matt McCall.
We got to bring out the old
Cal's texting me. You're tweeting.
Matt's got that on the wall. He thinks about it every day when he does Field of 68 that he hates
right.
Jeff. He wants this cash.
Hey, what size are both of you guys? What size jerseys?
Jerseys?
Yeah, what size? What size shirt?
Jersey or a T-shirt? Like a jersey?
Whatever,
I haven't worn a
t-shirt.
jersey since high school.
I don't know. A T-shirt. How's that? What size?
A medium, Jeff.
Hummel, what are you? XL?
Probably a large.
You're
Maybe
only
XL.
large? You're freaking 6'8". How are you large? Aren't
Great
those things
physique.
short?
Please don't send me a shirt with your picture.
Extra
on it.
large, I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to know
varies.
because I'm headed later this week to Bloomington for Talia's graduation.
Don't bring me an Indiana shirt.
I would like to get you guys some Indiana, maybe some Mendoza gear, some Signetti gear, something like that. So I just wanted to make sure I had the right sizes.
Have you realized, I found this out the hard way doing an Indiana broadcast early in the year, how much the IU fans they're really protective of that Bison mascot that they
Love
have
the
now.
Bison. Yeah, big Bison's new.
I just made a comment on the game about how if you were playing for Wyoming or Colorado, I could see why your mascot would be the Bison. But then I had like 50,000 tweets at me about how the state seal of Indiana has a bison on it. But that was in 1800 when we created this state. So they just haven't been here for a while. So I was like, I thought it was weird that we would have bison as the mascot. But Indiana's fans are very protective of the bison. So.
They are. They're very protective of the Bison and very excited about the football program these days, as is some other people affiliated with the Indiana program right now.
Yes.
You need to watch more college basketball.
Yeah.
Told you, I've seen 10 mid-major. I'm gonna put my
8 of them are across the street from your house.
Let's you write down what games you've seen for college basketball so far this year, Rob. You write them down. I'm going to write down which ones I've done. We're going to look at next week. We're going to look at it again, and we're going to compare notes. Okay?
I've probably seen a decent amount of mid majors, honestly.
All right. Well, we'll see. Just again,
GW over the weekend. Chris Caputo's doing a good job.
He is.
I like the Revolutionaries.
Although they lost after you saw them.
They played a game since then. I saw them on Saturday.
Maybe it was before the game before. Didn't they lose
lost to Delaware the game before?
Right, that was the one. That was
they were looking past Delaware. They were trying to get to the Florida game.
All right. Listen, thanks for joining us as always. Goodman, Hummel, and McCall Pod. Make sure you subscribe. Again, we are presented by BetMGM. Make sure you wager responsibly. I haven't said that in probably a week, so you guys got to remind me about that. And Rob, be careful on Saturday. Be careful. Be careful who you see, what you eat.
Last time I was in Indy, it did not
avoid
well.
Goodman like the plague. That's what you should
exactly
do. Like the plague.
But it may not have been me. I mean, again, you were in Indy. Maybe the people of Indianapolis have something.
You think it was kind of like the Jordan flu game of announcing?
No. Clark Kellogg went through the Jordan flu game.
He did
announcing that day. He told
I felt bad for
he was
Clark.
sick. You were fine, and then you just mossed it. And if you want to look, go Google Roberto Duran and no mas. That's what you did for that game. The next game. That's what you did. So Google Roberto Duran, no mas. This was bad. This was really bad. Something that I will never forget and will forever define your legacy as a commentator, broadcaster. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.